Rob, and Ram. Nobody asked, but we give you our opinions. Acknowledge us like Roman Reigns to all his minions. Coming from the grave like our name was Undertaker. Women's wrestling is cool, but where the hell is Britt Baker? Coherence takes abandon all hope. We talk shit like Ricochet from the top rope. We are marks, sometimes we're friendly. Sometimes we show our whole ass like Mandy. We are discussing what is the latest. Jericho is the GOAT, but Sid is our favorite. We are marks. We are marks.
What's going on, Marks? Welcome back to the podcast, the We Are Marks podcast. Why? Because we are Marks. I am your host. My name is Ram, Rob, and Bob. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, America?
There is a wrestling god.
There's a wrestling god. More on that to come. For those who don't know, We Are Marks, just a podcast of three guys who spent way too much time talking about wrestling through text message, and we said, why don't we just sit down and talk about it for an hour so we can get it all out. And truthfully, we are Marks. We are your typical fickle, easy to piss off, hard to please wrestling fans, and we talk about all the emotions wrestling gives us. And we are recording here tonight on a Wednesday. Our shows don't release until Friday, so that's why you might see some gaps in what's going on currently. Anyway, the biggest story this week in wrestling, I think that's not debatable at this point, is that there's a brand new undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. My question for you guys, before we talk about the match and what happened and all that, how long are they going to continue to call this title the Undisputed WWE Championship? Can we just drop the Undisputed? Because when it was the two titles together, that made sense. He was the Undisputed Champion. But now we have a WWE Championship and we have a World Heavyweight Championship. So it's disputed. I dispute that you're the Undisputed WWE Champion unless you beat CM Punk. So drop the Undisputed bullshit and just let's get back to the WWE Championship.
I agree. I don't know why the WWE Championship, which for I feel like 25 years of my life was always the WWE Championship, and now in the last like 5 years it's had multiple different names. But yeah, I think WWE Championship rolls off the tongue nicely.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say you're undisputed because depending on how they go with this title, it may not even be the quote-unquote premier title in the WWE after WrestleMania. So calling it the undisputed title just kind of doesn't make sense anymore.
It's silly. It is so silly. Nevertheless, Rob, I assume this is why you were saying there is a wrestling god, because Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre is your new undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. How long he holds the title is yet to be seen. I think that the three of us agree on the fact that right now, since Drew just won this championship, I want to see him hold it until WrestleMania. He can be the one who gets beat by the new babyface. Cody doesn't need to hold that title. Cody, honest to God, could end up, we may see Roman, Punk, and Cody in one match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I didn't think of that one. So as it stands right now, and I said that he was going to lose it at the Royal Rumble. Like, Drew had to win it just so Drew could stay relevant this year. I thought he was going to lose it at the Rumble, and then they set up an 8-man tournament to decide who was going to be his opponent at the Royal Rumble. And you look at the names, you got Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn, Dragunov. There's a couple guys here and there, but those 8 guys are not going to beat Drew McIntyre for that title. So I think Drew McIntyre does hold this until WrestleMania, where I don't even know if Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are in the picture for this title. Hence why I said this may not be the main title, and call it the undisputed one's kind of ridiculous. Ram just brought up a good point that I didn't think of, that Cody, Roman, and Punk could have a WrestleMania main event on night 2. I never even thought of that. But I could see Drew holding this at least until WrestleMania now at this point.
Yeah, I'm a little less bullish on what this means for Drew, as I think you guys are. I mean, this is still the same guy that last week we were saying if he didn't win this match, they can't have him main event in 2026. So I'm not sure that I'm all the way there, that he's going to become this guy that's going to be main eventing even WrestleMania. I do think there's a chance he does that, but I still kind of think that he will end up losing it at the Chamber. I just don't buy this total flip that Drew's now going to be main eventing one of those nights.
He could very well lose it at Saturday night's main event next week. He very well could do that. But we were talking about if he doesn't win this match, I don't think I'm going to feel differently if he loses it straight back to Cody right away. I don't think I'm going to feel any different about the fact that it would essentially be his last 2 times holding the world title will be for a week and a half and 5 minutes.
I think if he holds it to the if he holds it to the Chamber, I think it's fine and good. But if he loses it, especially if it's to Sammy really Sammy and Orton are the only 2 people that I could conceivably see beating him at the Royal Rumble. And if Randy wins, then it's obviously Drew was sort of an afterthought on Randy and Cody, so that wouldn't be a great place for Drew to be. But I get your point. If he doesn't hold it at least until Chamber, then this was kind of not great.
I think he does. And again, I don't see any of these guys beating. The only one I could see was Randy Orton, and that's if they want to set up the Orton-Cody match at Mania. But I don't think that even needs a setup for a title. I mean, but Drew McIntyre, I could see Drew McIntyre being the guy. He probably won't main event a WrestleMania. Like, he won't be the last match, but he will open a match. And this is setting up for something that we've kind of been talking about for, I don't know what, like a month now. Oba Femi winning the Royal Rumble. Oba Femi could win the Royal Rumble and beat Drew McIntyre for that title.
At this point in time, if Drew McIntyre is the World Heavyweight or the WWE Champion at WrestleMania, I would think the top 2 candidates would be Oba and Sammy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Cody doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. He does not need to win the Royal Rumble again. Absolutely not. I don't think Roman Reigns needs to win the Royal Rumble. That doesn't need to happen. And if Cody and Randy is the direction for WrestleMania, number 1, Randy Orton doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. And number 2, it doesn't need to be for the championship.
No. And
I mean, I think anything that involves Roman needs to be done very carefully because the guy is not around, and to have him just kind of be thrown into the WWE Championship, to me, unless somehow in the next 3 months they come up with something, is pretty lame. I don't think that it will be received very well, even though Roman is probably one of your top 3 people. I think the only other person, I get the Oba, but I'm not going to count Cody Rhodes out just because he is the number 1 guy. And if you go through history, the number 1 guy is usually not on a random, I don't want to say random, but on a singles match that's not the main event and not for the world title.
I mean, again, I did not think about this until you said it 2 minutes ago. Cody, Roman, and Punk is the match.
Yeah.
That is your WrestleMania main event, and that can be set up easily. Very easily.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time Roman Reigns comes back, it's CM Punk and Cody. That's always the face-off, the stare down in the ring. It's always.
And again, you go back to 2 months ago where he was talking about how that title will look really nice on you. Well, Cody doesn't have a title anymore, so let's go against CM Punk. Ram put this in my mind, and I don't see any way how we can't have a triple threat to end WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, and if you want to make a goddamn splash with Oba Femi, they've never done something like that. They've never done something like that. It's very unlike them to do something like that. But I think it would be, for a company who is basically living from big moment to big moment and giving us dog shit in the middle. That is the biggest possible moment they can have for someone who is the future top baby face of the business.
I look at what they're doing with Obafemi, and the only thing you can compare it to is Asuka when she came up, because Asuka dropped the title. Then you had the vignettes, not just on Raw or SmackDown. All the other signings from NXT have been signed to some show. And then there's Obafemi, who hasn't signed anywhere, but you hear his name on both shows. I could see them pulling the trigger early, having him win the Rumble, and having a hoss fight against Drew McIntyre and him winning.
I can see happening.
Yeah. Well, the other guy that's very much in the mix now after Friday, we'll see how it's followed up this week, is Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
And that could be his spot.
Honestly, top of my wish list was to see new faces in the main event. So if it's Jacob Fatu, give me Jacob Fatu. That sounds great.
That is our number one. Check it out on our YouTube channel. That is our number one new young faces in the main event scene for every company possible. This would be a perfect way to do it, whether it's Jacob Fatu, whether it's Obafemi, whether it's Sami Zayn, who's never really been in that scene except for 2 months. I know we don't want that either, but at least it's a new face, right?
I would be so happy for Sammy. I would be, but it's not what I want.
It wouldn't make sense. I feel it'd be more like a Jey Uso thing that everyone was happy in the moment, and then we realize Sami Zayn's the champion.
Well, no, because Sammy would give us great match after great match after great match. Yeah. So it would be way superior to Jey Uso.
Yeah.
The thing with Sammy though is it's cool getting the championship and seeing a guy like that win the championship, but I feel like so many times we've had that moment and then it has resulted in they don't actually believe in them. It was given this moment at WrestleMania and then the follow-up is kind of crap. And that's what I worry with Sammy. Somebody's fire alarm going off?
Is that you?
It's my dehumidifier. Let me turn it off.
Let's say, do we need to stop the show? And again, we're talking about moments. We're talking about people that just get that, get that pop. And you go through the history of this. I mean, Chris Benoit.
It happens. It happened.
I mean, that moment, take away everything else that happened with Chris Benoit. That moment when he won the title was a moment for wrestling fans. 3 months later, Randy Orton had that title, and a month after that, Triple H had the title back. So it's not like this is unprecedented that they would do this with Sami Zayn.
It's not unprecedented, but I don't like it because it never is great after the night. I mean, you know, Benoit or Daniel Bryan. I mean, granted, he got hurt, but the first thing he does after WrestleMania and the direction they were going was him facing Kane. And, you know, he wasn't the guy. After WrestleMania 30, it wasn't Daniel Bryan is the number one guy in the WWE. He was.
I'm going to counteract that with a Kofi Mania, because I think that up until the Brock Lesnar match, which will always never be okay, but Kofi Kingston, his title run, I think was done right. They gave him that title. They built him up. It was a great moment. And then after that, he feuded with Randy Orton, which was a feud that was, 10 years in the making? So, it's not like they thought of him as an afterthought with that. So, again, it has been done before.
It happens, but I guess where I'm going is when someone wins the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship, I think it should be somebody that you want to main event, not somebody that
Obafemi
is. If Obafemi is the guy they want to main event, whoever it is, Drew McIntyre, I think when it goes, Jey Uso is the perfect example. Wins the World Heavyweight Championship, and then what? He's the first match on the show because he's not the main guy on the show. And it's and all that does is lessen the title when it's the first match on the show.
Bob, when you have two titles, honest to God, one of them is going to be the lesser title. That's just the way it is.
Sure, not on the show. Not on the show.
But when you have PLE and you have both titles on the show, obviously one's going to look lesser.
And point to note, the WWE Championship is the SmackDown Championship at this very moment.
Right.
So it would kind of make a little bit of sense to have the bigger title on Monday Night Raw. That's the show. I mean, that's the show that keeps getting bought by all these billion-dollar corporations. So that's the show.
Raw did massive numbers in 2025. According to Netflix, it's the best viewership WWE ever had for Raw. So, yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, I mean, Sammy winning the championship would definitely just be, it would probably be a lot like Kofi's, which was like, this is like a reward for all your hard work over the years, and you did deserve more of a push than you got, and we're going to give you a charity run where you're going to face Randy Orton in a big feud and then lose the championship to someone we actually want to hold the championship, like Brock Lesnar.
But never mind. Cut that.
Could be Brock Lesnar.
That could be Sammy's demise, actually, is Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brock
Sammy ever faced Brock Lesnar? I feel like we've seen that squash match at one point.
It's very possible he's gotten thrown around a little bit at the very least.
He seems like a good character to throw around for Brock Lesnar.
I saw John Cena get squashed by Brock Lesnar before, and I had to watch it again. So
yeah, twice. So hey, Drew McIntyre is currently the WWE Championship champion, just like we've wanted all along. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm 50-50 on the whole matter. All right, guys. Next week, this was another one of our top 10 wish lists, was the return of the Prince, and Finn Balor himself referred to himself as the Prince, and he's getting a championship match. He's not going to win. I understand that. But he's getting a championship match next week in not his hometown, but close to it, which Wade Barrett. God damn, I just had a brain fart. Wade Barrett was quick to point out. But he's getting a championship match, and this was his last promo when he cut the promo and said he was going to put the Judgment Day on his back. I thought that was the best goddamn promo Finn Balor had maybe cut in his entire life. And then he came out this week, and it was like a Judgment Day version of the promo he cut the week before, which felt outside of the Judgment Day, and it felt like he sunk back in. And maybe that was Punk. Maybe Punk made me feel that way because of what Punk was saying and Finn having to respond to what Punk was saying. But something about it just felt off, and I kind of got a damn it. I just had like a damn it moment when he was doing this promo, because I felt like he just the Prince came out and then he slipped a little bit back into the Judgment Day full.
And I feel like this was a little bit of Punk's fault. And I don't know if Punk just does his own promos or somebody scripted this for him. But he's like, am I getting Finn Balor or am I getting the Judgment Day? Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough's not even there. They're both hurt. Like, why would you, if you're trying to like build up this to Finn Balor and stuff like that, why the hell would you say that?
Well, like, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez did get pretty involved in the John Cena Intercontinental Championship match, so he could be worried about that. I don't know. But he's got a hot wife, I'm sure, will come along.
Okay, I know we're going to talk about Finn Balor. I am sick of CM Punk, old man CM Punk promos coming out and just being like, I'm so happy to be here and I love you guys and thanks for being my fans. Yay. Here comes a heel. Fuck you, heel. I'm going to say some stupid crap that doesn't make any sense. And that's all CM Punk promos are right now.
You're getting babyface CM Punk. I'm not sure what you want from babyface CM Punk. He is corporate CM Punk.
That's exactly what it is. It's just, it is god awful. This is not my Punk. I want shirts that say "not my Punk" on it. All right.
Unfortunately, I'm confident CM Punk's contract was something about him behaving himself. So this is the character we're getting of CM Punk at the moment. I don't anticipate him ever turning heel again, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully he has another injury. No, that's
I said that.
I said it. He needs to go away for 4 months. I love that he won the title, but he needs to go away for 4 months.
No, he does not. He's still one of the most entertaining things on the show every week.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. I agree though that Punk is definitely he's mainstream Punk now. He's like
Punk.
he's like a rock. He's a rock band that was outlaw, and now he's signed. Man. Yeah,
he sold out. He became
the CM stands for commercial made now.
Like that's exactly what it is. Like he became a day to remember. That's what he is. Yeah. He's the band a day to remember.
Sometimes he plays the old hits, but yeah, he's PC Punk now.
Yeah, I still think he occasionally has a dynamite promo though.
Yeah, when he's interested, it's like I said. It's like I said, he's like Okada. If he's interested, if it's something he can sink his teeth into, he'll still pull out the 5-star match or the 5-star promo. But you can see he wasn't feeling a 1 week build on 1 week build on Finn Balor, even though it is Finn Balor. I wish, to Ram's point, I really liked the Balor promo on the Raw. Was it the week before? I was hoping that maybe this would be a build, especially when they did the little backstage stuff with Liv. Unfortunately, it does seem like kind of a match that they're throwing together to have a big Raw. But it's interesting that it's not happening in the Chamber, or not at the Chamber, at the Royal Rumble. I'm curious what that means Punk will be doing there, or I guess Finn, if he wins.
He may not be doing anything.
Yeah, my guess is nothing.
Drew McIntyre has a match. You'll probably have a women's match, and you'll have the 2 Royal Rumble matches. There's not really room for much else.
Yeah, it'll probably be Drew and Cody.
I mean, Punk's got to wrestle at Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's true.
I don't know. Maybe his contract said he only had to do that once.
I totally forgot it's in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, John Cena said it was his favorite moment of all time that has ever happened in professional wrestling. I think Punk's got to go back to Saudi Arabia.
I'm not going to lie, and it might be one of the greatest moments in heel John Cena is that promo when he knew exactly. They both knew exactly what was going on, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So I put this out in the universe. I think the Judgment Day is going to be over in the sense of who's in it. And I think they're not going to call it Bullet Club, obviously, but we might have a Balor Club thing. There's a couple guys out there that are free agents from New Japan that used to be Bullet Club members. David Finley's one of them. Colby Corino is another. There are guys there that could be brought in that we could have a Bullet Club kind of thing with the Prince being the main guy.
They did the Bullet Club thing already with AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson, and they did absolutely nothing with it. So bringing in 2 guys I've really never heard of, I don't think it's going to do it for me. But I would like to see Finn Balor get back to being the Finn. Was there anybody more over in like 2015 than Finn Balor?
I'm always curious if he doesn't get injured during that Universal title match. What happens? Because all momentum.
He gets killed by Goldberg and
yeah,
Brock Lesnar.
I do hope, since they're kind of doing this in whatever with Finn, that he comes out as the Demon.
I don't know if that works. It depends what they want to do with him. Do they want him to be that badass heel, or do they want him to be a face?
I mean, Punk challenged him to be Finn Balor, so I think it'd be a nice touch if he came out as the Demon Finn Balor.
I saw that Finn said recently in an interview that WWE ruined the Demon.
Well, yeah, they made him flop like a fish on the ground.
Well, it was just like something like he didn't want the Demon to be like a separate person. Like WWE wanted to be like a separate entity. And he was like, no, it's just, like it was supposed to just be like, I'm going to another level physically and mentally. I'm still Finn Balor. I'm not transformed into an actual demon. Whatever.
Has he been the Demon since
he
Japan left?
No, I don't.
No.
Not since he lost to Roman, right?
Edge at WrestleMania when they had
when he
the
did
Hell
the
in a
Brood.
Cell match.
Well, the only reason I brought up that point was to your point, Ram, about why he didn't like the direction of the Demon. He was doing exactly what he wanted to do in NXT with Triple H. So
Yeah,
Maybe.
yep, very true. That's very.
You
true.
want to know what? I'll agree with Bob. Let's bring back the Demon.
No, I'm with it. I am absolutely with it.
That's
I
not
mean,
good.
like I said, there was no one more over in 2015 than Finn Balor. 2015, 2016, whatever period that was. There was nobody more over. And I definitely believe, like, there was a reason he was so over. And I believe he can get back there, just not being booked in this Judgment Day hokey bullshit. Which, honestly, I love the Judgment Day. I've loved the Judgment Day all along. But I don't love that Finn Balor's in said Judgment Day. Anybody could be doing what Finn Balor's doing in the Judgment Day.
I mean, he's
the problem with Finn Balor is everyone knows he's great, and he's not perceived as the strong leader of the Judgment Day. And after a while, even though everyone knows you're great, when you're put in a specific spot, everyone looks at you like your view goes down to that spot. And now Finn Balor is viewed as a tag team guy because that's all he's done for the last 2 years.
tag team guy, and he's Dominic Mysterio's sidekick. Like he's a side character in the Judgment Day, even though he's supposed to be the leader of the Judgment Day. So that's why I think we got to get excuse me. That's why I think we got to get away from the Judgment Day and start the Balor Club with Colby Corino and David Finlay.
I don't know.
Finn Balor's better than probably
You
everyone.
don't know Fit Finlay and Steve Corino's son?
Who's all right? Fit Finlay, I know. Who's Steve Corino?
It's both of their sons.
King of old school, man.
That rings a bell, but who is that?
He used to be. Remember the bleach blonde guy from ECW? Late ECW, king of old school.
The Sandman.
Anyway,
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
that's not.
Okay. Yeah. So that's about it for that. Bob, you just brought up Okada, which made me want to bring up another one of my notes here. I got notes. Shinsuke Nakamura answered Carmelo Hayes' U.S. Open Challenge this past week on SmackDown. And he came out with his old Shinsuke music from NXT, and I'm watching him wrestle, and all I could think was, I really want to see him and Okada. I think, Rob, you asked recently, or maybe it was Bob, something about guys we wanted to see switch companies, and I couldn't really think of any, honestly, other than Finn Balor, honestly. And then I'm watching Shinsuke, and I'm just like, I don't understand how this guy fell off so hard in the WWE. And I understand that he's collecting a pretty paycheck, I'm sure, and I'm sure he loves his workload at this point in his career. But he is so talented to not be on TV, and that crowd went crazy for him. So, like, he still gets the reactions. He's just absolutely never on TV, and even when they were using him on TV, they were doing that like Yakuza thing with him for a little while, and I was like, this is awesome, this can get over, this is a great heel character, and then he lost the title match and fell off again, and it's a little frustrating, and that's a guy I would like to see over there. Not that he should be getting involved in these lights out matches with staplers and shit like that, which we'll talk about later, but like to go over there and like wrestle Okada and get into the mix with Jon Moxley again in an AEW setting. That's someone I would like to see over there getting time on TV. Shelton Benjamin, like Shinsuke's so fun to watch.
And bring Boogs with him.
Bring Boogs, baby. Boogs was awesome.
If our listeners are ever bored, go watch AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in New Japan, because this might be one of the greatest matches you've never seen. Shinsuke is old. Shinsuke's body is giving out on him. I don't think Shinsuke wants to go anywhere anymore because, again, as you said, he's getting a nice paycheck. He's got to wrestle like once a month, if that, because they don't do house shows anymore. But the King of Strong Style still can go. And I would like to see more of him. I would like to have him with his one last run. I don't think it's going to happen in WWE. I could see him writing out his contract for as long as it is and then having a couple matches in New Japan to call it a career. But I think he's been in WWE longer than he was over in New Japan at this point. Like, between NXT and WWE, he's been over here for about 10 years now.
Yeah, I would think it was probably about 10 years, probably like 2016.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Some of those guys start wrestling when they're 15, so I'm not sure. But
Well, I mean, I didn't know Okada was only 38, two weeks ago? And I looked it up. I was like, yo.
Okada! Speaking of Okada, why is he on goddamn Dynamite?
He wasn't.
All right, hold on. We'll get to AEW in a little bit. Don't worry about it. We'll get to AEW. Okay, I have a gripe, and this is probably something absolutely nobody who talks about wrestling has been talking about ever at all, but it was something that I really took notice to this week on SmackDown. Have you ever really paid attention to Alicia Taylor doing the ring announcing and how she enunciates the letters of some of the names? Like when she said new WWE champion Drew McIntyre, she doesn't say Drew. She says Drew. She says Drew. And I really took notice to it when she said Trick Williams, because she didn't say Trick. She said Rick. She said Rick Williams.
I have not noticed that.
And I was like, why did she say it like that? And then I heard her do it with Drew. She said Drew.
I have not noticed, but now you said
I don't know why it really bothered me this week on SmackDown.
I'm about to go back and watch SmackDown and just hear her and be like, oh, crap.
Yeah, please do
it's
it. 100%. Tell me I'm not crazy.
It'll 100% be ruined for me from now on.
Yeah, so thanks.
She's great, honestly. She's a great ring announcer. I'm not dogging her at all, but I really took notice to how she was enunciating those names that have that that syllable that they're supposed to kind of be a one sound, and she really enunciates that first letter, and it's really weird.
So it's just like the like the brr and the drawer.
It's like the R, I guess. It's the R, maybe. But it was Daru and Rick Williams. Oh, Please go on and listen and tell me I'm not crazy, because that's how I heard it.
You know, if this is true, I kind of hate you for this. I'm not going to lie, because this is all I'm going to be able to hear.
I'd love to hear what she'd say for Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. Yeah, I don't know. You guys got to go and tell me I'm not crazy, or tell me I am crazy and she's saying it like a normal human being. Is she, I don't want to sound insensitive at all, but is she American? Is she from America? Do you guys
really don't know. I don't know. I always thought that she was just trying to be Samantha Urban, just not as good at it. I mean, she's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I think Samantha Urban's the best one since Howard Finkel. So
I really like the guy who normally does SmackDown.
I liked Samantha Urban. Maybe this should be cut because I don't want Samantha Urban fans to chase us down. But she sort of had Audrey Edwards syndrome, where I feel like she was trying to be a part of it.
I genuinely think she just would get caught up in the moment. Truly.
Okay,
I don't think it's an act.
Yeah, we say that, but at the same time, we're at WrestleMania 40, and her announcing not Drew McIntyre. I'm just so happy Drew won the title. When she announced Cody won the title, it just felt more of a moment because of how she did it. So
yeah, it's authentic. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like it. That's why I liked it, because it was authentic. It wasn't like she was playing up to try and make it about her. It was just she was having trouble announcing it because of how excited she was for Cody and the moment and the story. At least that's what I think. Unless she's a really good actor, in which case she should not be ring announcing.
Well, she's have we talked about this? She has a 2-year no compete clause, so she's doing like hip hop now. She's a music artist right now.
Well, I think that is her passion. I think singing is her passion. That's what she wants to do for a living. She doesn't want to be a ring announcer. That's what I think. I don't really know.
She wants to be a manager.
She did pitch that she wanted to be a manager too. But yeah, she has the 2-year non-compete clause. It's ridiculous.
I thought I didn't Andrade. He's back.
I thought they tried to ban Andrade for life.
Andrade.
He's back.
I don't think Andrade completely understands how contracts work. So.
No, I agree.
Andrade's just gonna keep showing up until someone tells him no.
WWE's coming again. They'll be like, it wasn't time yet. It was not time
I don't know
yet.
what you're doing. But what are they gonna do with him? Tell him that they have to stop?
Are you kidding? He's in the Don Callis family.
Yeah, he's
right. So
what do they want to do? They want to step to the Don Callis family and new addition Jake something or Jake Dyer. What was his name? It used to be Jake something. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys, another new guy showed up in AEW, and he's just in the Don Callis family. He collected the bounty for Don Callis. Why? Don Callis has 13 other guys he could have sent after the bounty.
Don Callis is winning the transfer portal.
Yes. Don Callis is dominating the transfer portal. That's hilarious. Nice pool, Bob. Very nice pool. All right, so yeah, Don Callis officially has 2 new members, I guess. Is Jake Doyle. His name is Jake Doyle. I had to look at my notes to figure that out. Jake Doyle. Is he an AEW contracted guy now?
I guess so. He came from TNA, if I'm not mistaken.
He's in TNA, which would be a WWE situation.
Well,
that's who he is. He's Jake something.
He's Jake something.
Oh, then yeah, he was in TNA.
Yeah, that's. They said he was from TNA. Well, somebody told me he was from TNA.
So I guess he's in AEW, and he's the newest member of the Don Callis family. And if you're not in the top 3 of the Don Callis family, you have one job.
The job.
Lay on your back and take a pin.
Your job.
The money.
You have one job. To job. Yeah, to job. Speaking of the Don Callis family, and Rob, I know what you're going to say. It's not helping me none. Because Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Okada were again not on your main television program that takes place at a reasonable hour and not on the weekend. Okay, go ahead. Tell me about what they did on Collision. I'll tell you if it was... Go ahead.
Well, maybe you should watch Collision. How about that? Yeah, did you ever think about that?
I'm sorry, I don't have time. It doesn't even start until 10 o'clock on a Saturday, which is not happening. And then Sundays for football, Mondays for Raw, Tuesdays for NXT. I got kids, brother.
They argue. Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
For the record, I agree with you. This should have been on Dynamite. I don't understand. Also, I mean, we have Maximum Carnage this week. Why couldn't we just wait for this for Maximum Carnage?
Hold on, because I don't even know what happened. So tell me.
So essentially, Kyle Fletcher is like, I don't understand why we need to talk about Okada, how he screwed both me and Takeshita. He stole my screwdriver and he used it on Takeshita. And Don Callis basically said, well, he needed it and you should be thanking him because it's Okada. Basically, Don Callis is saying it's Okada and you guys should be thankful that Okada's even here.
Was this a backstage segment?
Yeah, that's a backstage segment.
Okay, gentlemen. Now, again, my problem with AEW, Dynamite this week was very enjoyable. I thought it was a great episode of Dynamite. I want to put that out in the universe. However, coming out of that great pay-per-view we had 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago, there was the biggest stories were MJF being the new World Heavyweight Championship, I keep saying championship when I want to say champion, and it's getting on my own nerves. The new AEW champion, MJF, and the Takeshita Okada, Kyle Fletcher business, and the Don Callis family. And in those 2 weeks, we have a backstage segment where Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita are talking about how they got screwed 2 weeks ago. Come on, bro. This is the second. This should be your biggest thing, honestly, because this is what you have been building for so long. This should be your biggest story, and they're not on the damn TV show.
I'm not even going to try to defend this because when I saw it on on Collision, I immediately went, son of a bitch, I can't believe they just – and it wasn't even anything big. It was just Fletcher complaining to Don Callis about it. Takeshita wasn't there. Okada wasn't there. Nobody's there. Fletcher was just like, dude, what the hell? And Don Callis is like, well, it's Okada. He can do whatever he wants.
Wait, so
that's essentially all that happened.
So it was just Fletcher.
Yeah, it wasn't even Takeshita.
Are they still in Japan?
In their defense, I'm pretty sure this was pre-taped and they're still in Japan. So
it's crazy, bro.
That's crazy. I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this, as far as the segment, it was good moving it, but, it is a problem with AEW. I mean, it's a slow process sometimes with these stories. And the 2 hours of main weekly television, I know they're trying to do more things on Collision, but, Ram, your point is what a lot of people feel. They're not going to watch the 11 o'clock show on a Saturday when life and football and everything else is going on. So to try to move these stories on Collision is difficult. So that's really where they're at with it.
Yeah. It's like being really excited for the next episode of a show because you are so excited to see the fallout from this awesome ending of this episode. And a week goes by and you don't find out the answers. And then another week goes by and you don't find out the answers. And then you're just like, man, screw this show. I'm still watching it, but I'm annoyed right now because the story I want to know what's going on in is this one. And your biggest stars aren't on the show because they're in Japan.
Yeah, I think it would be a wise decision. I think I might have said this before, maybe it was offline or whatever, but, doing something along the lines of, I remember 10, 15 years ago, Raw and SmackDown would have the SmackDown rebound and the Raw or whatever, Raw rebound, where they would show a clip of the most important thing that happened on the other show. I think having something on Dynamite that was the Collision rebound or whatever that shows that, especially when it's things that move the needle on these top end storylines. We don't need to see a replay of a match or something that was two mid-card guys. But when you have Moxley's promo, whether it was this week or the week before, talking about Shelton Benjamin, when you have the Don Callis family, I mean, those are types of things that I would show on Dynamite. Not only does it help move the story, maybe people will watch Collision if they knew this stuff was going on. And I don't think, without it, that people are going to all of a sudden start watching Collision.
And that's the thing. They don't even bring it up except for, oh, if you didn't see Collision, then go watch it because this doesn't make sense. It reminds me of, and it's the reason why I stopped watching Marvel movies in the first place. It just got so much that I lost track of what was going on. And I'm sure a lot of people are sitting there losing track of what's going on because even Ram can't watch all the wrestling. There is just your 4 major shows. There's 10 hours of wrestling a week. Something's got to get cut eventually,
Yeah, for me it's Collision.
Right.
Because it is actually it's more accessible than SmackDown, but I find a way. Also, it's a little frustrating how many letters. This is first world problems, and I 100% understand that. It annoys me how many letters I need to type before Dynamite comes up on Max. If I'm going on Netflix and I type R, Raw will be the first suggestion.
I feel like you're overthinking something when you use Max, because I just click sports and AEW
I was
pops
about to
right
say,
up.
I literally,
No,
I
wait.
think
no, wait,
it's an
time out,
attitude.
time out. Guys, time out. I just go to the search bar and I type in Dynamite, and it comes up. But I have to get through at least 5 letters before it's the first suggestion.
Can't
I
you
think
add it
that's
to your
weird. I think
favorites?
that's weird. What?
Does Max have favorites?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not.
I'm gonna have to look this up. to
I
see if
think
I'm not a
even
big
simpler,
playlist maker. I'm not a list favorites maker. I don't really
even
do that.
simpler than typing in 5 letters. 1 click, sports, AEW, right there.
I was about to
Okay,
say,
I'll try that
usually-
next time.
When I go
I'll
on
try that
Max, it's usually like the first thing that's up.
It is not for me. It is not. I gotta really search it, and by really search it, I mean type 5 letters. First world problems.
Millennials.
Okay, guys, what did you guys think of this Mercedes Monet in the cake segment? Because I thought a lot of Dynamite was good, and I thought we probably could have used this time a little better.
I think this is the second time she's had cake and thrown in her face or something like that in like the last 2 months, isn't
Well, because she doesn't have any in her butt, so.
I don't think there's any wrestler that has more story or things happen that's based around food as Mercedes Monet, because she was eating steak when she was with Tony Storm. She may have had another cake incident, now cake again this week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she's hungry when she's working or something.
She might be a foodie.
Yeah.
I specifically remember Harley Cameron and her puppet throwing cake in her face. That did happen. So this one was another cake incident with Harley Cameron.
AEW's trying to broaden their fan base.
I
Let's get
understand
Mercedes eating today.
cooking. We're Mercedes Monet. Again, this was on Collision again. Is her absolute meltdown in front of a mirror where she says, "I need to go away for a little." Like that happened on Collision as well. I don't understand why we needed Dynamite to have a cake party when that happened on Collision, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, if we're speaking honestly, that part that you said happened on Collision could have happened after the cake segment on Dynamite. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
could have been on the show.
Again, I mean, I watched Collision. It was a good show. I'm not going to lie. I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot of things that happened on Collision that all I could think about was Ram last week being like, it should be on Dynamite, because that's what I felt like. You know?
I mean, that's the show we watch. There was
Right.
such a large portion of time where watching Collision was like watching Sunday Night Heat. There was so much stuff that didn't matter. It was just matches put together.
Right.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you start having major storyline things happening on Collision, and we are trained to not give a crap about that show.
At least I will say, at least it's Collision, because when AEW first started, it used to be on Being the Elite on YouTube, so they're
very good point.
slightly improved, but it's been a problem the entire existence that you need to watch everything to understand what's going on.
Like, Collision is like the second last thing I watch in a week. If I don't get to it, I don't get to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a slightly above TNA.
Yeah. Hey, and now that we got Super Kick Party back, we might be getting some content on Being the Elite again. Who knows? Bob, this had to really tickle you. This had to really get your blood pumping to hear the Super Kick Party and the Young Bucks come out with their tassel-y pants.
Oh, you know I love it.
Tell
I'm a
me
mark for the
about it.
Super Kick Party.
Tell me about it.
I like it. I think I'm excited for the Bucks back, and I like them as faces. I do, and I think FTR. There's a lot of teams right now, which is a good thing in getting the Bucks hopefully in that mix. We should be getting a lot of really good tag team matches over the course of the next couple months. We talked when we did the end of year review about FTR, Christian and Cope, but now there's a lot. I mean, now, I'm not sure if we get there, when we get there, but with the Bucks and Jet Speed and Hangman and Swerve, if they keep this direction going, there's good tag team division in AEW.
Oh, that's another thing that happened on Collision is that the whole mid-card group beat up the Don Callis family. So, like, they're all banding together against Don Callis. You can watch Collision.
The thing of it is, though, because like they keep just beating the Don Callis family in matches over and over and over again, and the Don Callis family just comes and like cheap shots them anyway. So this could be never ending. That's the thing. It's like they're not going to beat the Don Callis family, and then the Don Callis family is just going to go away, because if they beat 5 members of the Don Callis family, there's 17 more. They're not getting out of it.
You know, I think I have an even better idea for Collision. Is they used to have AM Raw that was like 45 minutes on USA on like Saturday mornings. I'm not saying they need to do this. Put it on YouTube so you can watch it wherever you want. They should have an AM Collision that is just like 30 minutes. Just jet through everything. That way you can get caught up.
Honest to God, if I'm them, I'd put Collision on Thursdays, especially since there's no Thursday Night Football anymore. Put it 8 o'clock on Thursdays. You're only going against TNA. Nobody really cares about TNA. Like, why not?
I would do it. I would 100% do that, but I don't think Tony, he doesn't ever want to touch the NFL, so then he's going to have to flip it.
Well, I think the real question would be, does TNT want to do that?
Is Collision even on TNT?
No, it's on TBS, isn't it?
Well, same fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Far from it. I actually didn't know if it was on cable or not. I thought it was an HBO Max exclusive.
Is there anything else on TBS that's like live?
Friends, reruns.
I don't think that's live, but
do they still play the Braves?
No, they lost the Braves a long time
ago. But they do play baseball.
Yeah,
but I think like hockey, basketball.
Isn't hockey on it now or something like that?
Hockey's on Peacock, which is
in TNT.
That's NBC.
But what's
NBC.
Today? Wednesday? Yeah, TNT. It's hockey's on Wednesday nights because it's on right now.
Oh yeah, and basketball's on there too.
Oh, that's TBS. Anyway,
dude, TBS and TNT they're the same to me. There's really no difference. They could be the same channel for all I know. Who has cable anymore, Bob? No, full disclosure though, I'm kind of happy to see this old version of the Young Bucks. We'll see if I enjoy their matches. I don't trust them at all, so it's interesting.
Go into it with an open mind.
My mind is open. I'm a very open-minded individual.
They have been putting on much better matches lately. I will give them that. They're a lot more crisp. That 6-man tag.
I don't think that's my problem with them. There was a point in time where their matches were bad, full send, but their matches are typically good. I think my problem with them is that I don't buy them to be baby faces. I don't buy it. I don't think they can make me buy it. I don't think they can make me be like, I really want the Young Bucks to beat FTR. I don't think I'll ever feel that way.
Okay.
But there are people who do. Bob does. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who were really big Young Bucks fans before AEW who love the Young Bucks. There's Young Bucks people. That's not me. Sorry about it. Only got a few more things here from AEW. I'll give you guys the floor if there's anything else you want to talk about. Marina Shafir should absolutely 100% never, ever, 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 ever be in a singles match that lasts more than 6 minutes. Absolutely not. For as good as Dynamite was, this was the worst thing on the show, and it was with Toni Storm. That's not a good look.
It's weird that she calls her finisher mother's milk.
I think it's kind of hot.
It's just a weird thing. So also on Collision, her and Megan Bann are getting back together. Just throwing that out there. That happened.
That's what she should be doing. That's what she should be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a great role for her. I think being like this badass in the Death Riders is a great role for her. Having a 15-minute singles match with Toni Storm, not a great role for her.
Now, anytime you give Toni Storm a bad match, it's usually on the other person. So I'm going to chalk that up to Marina Shafir not being good.
JR loved the mother's milk. That's something we need to talk about. What did you guys think about the return of good old JR? Did you think he called a good show? Do you think he called a good show?
I think JR did the best that he could. He felt like the old man who was just put in front of a VR headset and didn't know what he was supposed to do.
I feel like with JR, it was the same as a lot of these guys that aren't on the show, is you find that they don't watch the show when they're not on the show. And Pat McAfee had the same problem where he comes whenever he comes and he does not know who the hell these people are or why they're suddenly heels or baby faces. And I felt
Pat McAfee's coming. He'll be back with probably the Royal Rumble, I'm thinking.
In Saudi?
I don't think Pat McAfee's going to be full-time, though.
Maybe not.
No,
Saudi.
but they'll bring him back for big shows and stuff like that.
I think he's going to be exactly what he did last year. He's going to be a WWE commentator for 6 months, and when college football starts back up, he's gone.
I like McAfee. That's not a shot at him overall. It's just, those first couple weeks when he shows up, he's going to be like, oh, Dominic Mysterio, he's still a scumbag? Like, what?
Yeah. They're gonna put him in a 3-man group with Michael Cole and Corey Graves until eventually they say this isn't working, and they send Corey Graves back down to NXT.
I like Corey Graves.
Listen, I hated on Corey Graves for a long time. I'm starting to get behind him. I'm starting to enjoy his commentary. I think he's doing good with Michael Cole.
I know Pat McAfee's a name and stuff like that, but I like Corey Graves. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole together is kind of terrible.
I want Pat McAfee and Joe Tess. You know what? Actually, that would be a pretty good 3-man group. I think that would be a 3-man group that would work.
Wade, Joe, and Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah. That could work.
What I like about Pat McAfee is he obviously doesn't feel scripted, and he feels like somebody that genuinely is enjoying what he's watching and reacts like someone that's watching the show.
Yeah, he's just a fan with a microphone.
But I do think that the best color commentator, the guy that they cannot get off, is Barrett.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
He and Joe Tess are a good team. So I
agree.
Hate to see that.
I agree. I heard some people hating on Joe Tess. Well, it's just this one specific individual. And it bothered me. It bothered me. I was like, how can you be hating on Joe Tess's commentary right now? You just sound like a hater. Anyway, back to AEW. I got one more point, and I'll open the floor if you guys have anything. So the main event of AEW last week was this lights out match. It was Hook and I'm drawing a blank. Hobbs. It was Hobbs and Hook against Swerve and Hangman. And the match was what it was. I don't love the stapler. I don't like seeing people. Fortunately, they didn't zoom in on it. I didn't actually see penetration. I did not see full penetration on this show. But just the idea of it just gives me the worst feeling, and I don't enjoy that aspect of it. But overall, I thought the match was pretty enjoyable. I thought it told a really good story. But these goons that come out that are with the ops, that are in like the ops dungeon or whatever the hell they're calling it, could they look any more unassuming? Could they look any more not able to fight Hangman and Swerve? These are like the most generic looking tiny dudes just like flailing around like ragdolls. Could they look any worse? I don't understand what they're doing with this.
What are you talking about? Dude, they're wearing the Ops Dojo shirts, all right? They mean business.
Yeah, I guess.
Can I ask you a question, though? Seriously. Does Hook look like somebody who could take on Hangman and Swerve?
No,
Hook
good
looks
point.
like a freaking guy from Streets of Rage that you beat up on level 1. That's exactly what he looks like.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
+3.
Hook's one of those guys that I can't care about Hook anymore. I cared about Hook when CM Punk said send Hook. Yeah. That was Hook's peak, and then they didn't do anything with Hook.
Yeah.
Ever since.
I really like his music though. where he's it's like he's at the beach.
I can't.
So he's Kit Wilson.
He's yes, he's
like
Kit
a Streets
Wilson.
of Rage level. That's what it reminds me of. Everything reminds me of a Streets of Rage level 1 guy.
Honest to God, I think if Hook did a Kit Wilson kind of character, like obviously not the flamboyant that Kit Wilson is, but something similar to that, I think that could get over. But
I actually think
being a badass is not working for me. He's not his dad. He is not his dad.
I think it would be even funnier if he did it the flamboyant because Taz is his dad.
Yeah, he couldn't pull it off though. That's what I'm saying. Like Kit Wilson pulls that off. That is Kit Wilson. Hook
but it'd be so funny if Taz ever comes back to commentary and his kid's doing that like flamboyant thing, and Taz just rips the shit out of him the whole time for it. I'd watch that.
I don't think we can do that in 2026.
Oh, cut that.
Probably not.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to get poly-charged on this episode of the podcast, but, things might be more on the table now. I don't know. I have no idea.
You would just have to make Hook the baby face.
Looks like we got canceled again.
Honestly, when they made him like a superhero where the little hook thing showed up on the thing, that was kind of interesting. That was kind of cool.
And that's the thing, like he came back and I'm like, all right, where are they going with this? And then they put him in a tag team with Eddie Kingston, and then he just went right back to Samoa Joe, and you're like, well, this was all pointless now, wasn't it?
Well, it was cool. I thought it was cool when Hook was coming out there and doing the matches like Taz, where he was suplexing people and doing.
No, I can't take that seriously, Bob. I'm sorry. The guy weighs 140 pounds. He has no muscles whatsoever. Taz was a monster doing that.
He is actually pretty muscular, very lean, and I guarantee you he could suplex the shit out of you.
He weighs 140 pounds.
I guarantee.
Have you ever seen an amateur wrestler? They're like 5'5" and have no body weight or body fat.
Again, I was an MMA fighter at one point in my life. I understand these things. He weighs 140 pounds.
Rob, Hook would suplex the shit out of you, bro.
Hook. I know you're listening out there. At least Tony Khan is, because he steals all our ideas. I need you to come to Coopersburg, and we have a challenge. All right? Me and you, we have a grappling contest, and we see what happens.
Yeah, and then you need to break the master lock. No, that's it though. You guys got anything else that I might have missed? You feel bears mentioning Jordan Grace's first match?
Rob, how did you like the main event of Raw? AJ and Gunther.
Oh God! Don't get me started.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Actually,
bringing that up. I forgot that happened. I wanted to retrace it from my mind. Guys, we've all played sports. What is the number one thing that a coach tells you to do?
Yeah,
play to the whistle, right?
I was thinking wear a cup.
That would probably help too. How many times have you seen somebody not hold the submission to finish a match until the bell rang?
Yeah. What I really didn't like is when he jumped up and down like a toddler.
Right.
That was the one that was like, and that was definitely just AJ. Like, he wasn't told to do that. There's no way he was told to do that. But I was like, why did he just jump up and down like my 7-year-old son?
He looked
pleading his case.
Like he wanted to teach Gunther respect. This is a grudge match. And the moment he taps you, let him go. Like, there's no respect here. What are we doing? You made, again, our top 10 list. We want to see AJ go out in styles. You know, that's what we want. You started the year by making him look like a total dweeb. Like, that was the dumbest ending of 2026. So
I thought it was stupid that the worst thing about Gunther right now is the fact that he did tap out to Jey Uso, so people can chant that at him, and they are correct. And we're just gonna light relight that flame because he tapped out again. So
That's
I don't know what the hell they're doing with Gunther. The whole thing's weird. I feel like at Brooklyn you could see that the crowd was not as heated with him, and I don't know. I didn't think that's helping this.
Of having a heel just be a monster heel. Like, I talk all the shit in the world because you guys can't beat me. I am tired of these big bad dudes like Gunther and Drew McIntyre. Now, granted, Drew McIntyre needed Jacob Fatu because it's Cody Rhodes. But I'm curious what happens with Drew McIntyre next. Are we going to have him cheat to keep the title too? Like, can we just have heels be monsters and be arrogant, cocky sons of bitches because you can't beat them? Like, is that too much to ask?
I mean, that's essentially what Gunther was before Jay. Like, before he lost the title to Jay, that's basically what he was. He was like, I'm the champion because I'm the best, and he would pretty much say, I'm going to dominate you, and then he would dominate you. And that,
right. Why can't we get back to that?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
Well, with Gunther, you have to. With Drew, I mean, Drew is a personality, so he can
but
get
still,
away with some of this stuff.
Drew is 6'7", 280 pounds. Drew weighs twice as much as Hook. He doesn't have to cheat. He could kill you.
Yeah, but at least he can get away with it. Gunther, his strength is kicking people's asses, and he's not doing that.
I get chicken shit heels, like Dominic Mysterio when he wins the world title. He could be a chicken shit heel. That works. Gunther is way too big, way too much of a monster to have him do things like this. This is absurd. And AJ looked like a doofus.
I think they should try to book him a little bit. Like, there used to be this guy named Walter. He was like twice the size of Gunther, but they have very similar personalities. And I think they should try and maybe book Gunther like that guy.
What happened to that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. He was fun to watch, though.
I remember watching him in like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I mean, he was huge, but he could move for a big guy.
He's a big man.
This has nothing to do with my take on the Cena Gunther match, but a month post that, I'm not impressed with where we're sitting with Gunther.
No, me neither. Unfortunately, because I mean, he is my favorite wrestler. I think he's the best.
His slogan is tapped out like a bitch, and I feel like they're just going to make him keep tapping out like a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little frustrating.
I don't like this at all.
It's a little frustrating. I'd like to see them get Vinny Vinci back in the mix and get Imperium back together.
I think he got cut.
Yeah, he did.
And
they should bring Vinny Vinci and El Grande Americano and Real Americano and the other Americano and start up Imperium Americano.
I will say this. Joe Test during the Rayo Javon Evans match, when he's like, yeah, I heard Grande Americano has a lot of family over here in Germany. I lost my shit for that. Yeah. Because Wade Barrett's like, he's actually from Gulf of America. And Joe Test is like, that's not what I was told. Like, for some strange reason, that made me laugh.
I mean, that is still a mystery because, again, we know who El Grande Americano is. We know that Tyler Bate is one of the Americanos. I don't know who the other guy is. And I've been trying to figure it out. If anybody has any intel.
I want to say it's Pete Dunne.
It's not. It is not. Unless Pete Dunne completely reshaped his body, that is not Pete Dunne.
See, that was the thing. But, like, Tyler Bates definitely Ryo because the hairy chest and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the arm sleeve gave it away this week. And when he did the propeller spin thing, don't know who the other guy is though. That's the big mystery in wrestling this week. Any further comments, gentlemen?
I think MJF's probably going to retain against Bandito. Anybody disagree with that one?
Nah, it's probably a safe bet. I'm going to check the odds on that, DraftKings.
I want to see Brody King turn on Bandito. That's what I want.
I think it seems like I think Brody King is going to try to be elevated, but I would like to see Max get a heavy bodyguard. So
I don't even want that. I want to see Brody be on his own and be that monstrous heel.
You know what? Big Bill Big Bill, that is a good idea. I think Big Bill being the bodyguard for Max, that has some legs to it.
Hell yeah.
I think, and what? Not Keith Lee. What's the guy? Brian Keith. Get them both. Get them both. He can be the new learning tree.
I agree.
The learning menorah. Max, Jacob Freeman.
On TV. The learning menorah.
All sorts of canceled tonight.
All right, Rob, did you have something?
I completely forgot.
Awesome. That's great. Well, guess what? We're going to watch all this wrestling this week. We will be back next week. We have a Saturday night's main event we will have to predict. And until then, hopefully we see Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Okada on Dynamite next week. Enjoy wrestling.